Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have another interesting video here. This time it's on a 2003 Ford F-150 Lightning. I think it is. I haven't actually decoded the PIN number or anything. This is from Hubert. Hubert, I think it's. Let me see. Hubert Beech. This is your computer. That is for you to see your computer's numbers in there. They have all his information. Let me just pull it out 1 second because I need to read that for him. All right, just trying to cover a little bit of his information. He's from Florida. Um, I don't have a still respond of what the fault. I think it's a crank no start on him. Let me just try to read that 1 second here. Let me see. I think he did send me that on a text message. Da, da, da. Since we just spoke about. He is from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Hubert. And let me just see on the folder. Crank no start. So yeah, it is a crank no start condition. So let me just put again his VIN number here, trying to cover his information. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to cover as much as I can his information. All right, I know it's going to be a little bit blurry, but I think actually it's not coming so bad in here. So we can see the last digit on his VIN number is D01823. All right, so I got everything connected. For those that have been following all this F-150 to repair, I got everything to check your computer 100%. Not a little bit, 100%. For this, I'm using the full probe. This has two emulators for coils and injectors in here. I'm also using my automotive universal test platform. I created this harness. And the reason I'm using also this is because the way I designed the harness, if I am using or just testing a no communication in a computer, I don't need to plug the full probe because I can just put powers and grounds and everything through this and then check the computer, only the computer. When somebody has a problem of a no crank, no start, I request to send the instrument cluster and the keys or a key, at least one key. Um, Usually I request to get the transceiver, not a requirement, but I'd rather have just in case because I have another computer that I will be testing probably on this same video so he can see this as well. Um, he has another issue. A computer was here, I think, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, and now he's saying that the computer never run. I said, I'm sorry, but I even recorded a video with the computer fully working here. But yeah, so that's another subject. Going back to Uber, again, crank no start. So the first thing that I want to do is make sure the test light goes off. That will be telling me that it is indeed reading the key correctly, and we don't have a path issue. So let's power this up. I'm just going to power here. So let's keep focus onto the instrument cluster. We got the TF light and it goes off. Another good thing is make sure that you are reading mileage. If you are reading mileage on this setup, that means your SPC communication in between the instrument cluster and the computer is working. If you are getting dots or zeros in there, that means that you got problems in communication, so check that out. All right, so we got the power on, so let's auto ID the module. Make sure that we can communicate with, because right now we know the cluster is on, but it is the computer on or not. I mean, it should be because again, we are getting no dots or zeros on the instrument cluster. So that's telling me the computer is indeed talking. And then that's a good sound. So let's just let it populate. I wish that they had this someplace else. All right, so D01823. D01823. Perfect. So it is indeed talking. And from here, I just go into quick access. Again, I'm using the Phoenix Max. I am so happy I got this tool. It's a great tool. I fully recommend top done Phoenix Max. I am not recommending no more Autel. You can move away from that company. The company is starting to become almost like a Snap-on. It's just trying to take as much money away from technicians. These new companies will break that away from them because this is a great company, great support, great tool. I'm very happy. It has plenty of memory, super fast, very nice setup. The way they design the hold down, that leg, cameras, everything is top notch. So I fully recommend this tool. If you do programming, I will recommend you to. For programming, I don't recommend to use any aftermarket tool. Like just get yourself a J pass-through device or OEM diagnostics, OEM programming, and do it right because that can really burn you. You try to program a module and you don't use the OEM information, you end up buying a module for somebody. You're trying to save either the customer money or you cutting corners to keep more money in your pocket, and at the end it doesn't really work. But that's again another subject. All right, so ignition is on. I love the way this thing, the battery lasts like 3 days, and I use it all day long here on the on my lab, and I mean no problem. Very happy. All right, so I'm just gonna click in other for what we're doing in here. Not really that important. So let's go first into the instrument cluster. Make sure that we can get communication and that we can see that all the TAF paths is indeed good. First, let's read codes. Continuous memory, you don't want to do an own and self-test. I feel saying they're not connected. That is correct. So there is no TAF or anti-TAF faults. So let's read data stream. And in here, all I need to select is master key, numbers of keys selected or store, sorry. Yes. Um, Pass and service mode sonos. Verification, yeah, that's very important. Vehicles enable. I think that's all I need. We can try to see what the ignition switch shows in here, but not really that important. Okay, so yeah, he has two keys stored. That means it's full program. Pass anti-theft service system is enabled and it's okay. The ignition is in the wrong position and vehicle is enabled. So this, if it doesn't start, it's not because of it anti-theft, it's not because of the pads. So you can do this test on your vehicle. If you read this, car has to start. All right. This is telling me that the transceiver that he's using, or the transceiver that I'm using right now, is good. Key is good. Cluster is good. Signal to the computer should be good to start. All right. So let's get out of here and let's go over to the PCM. And we can only one fall. Again, is no field sender connected, so no problem. Supercharger, and definitely right. Supercharger. All right. Yeah, let's do the same thing. Let's read both codes and see what we have in just continuous memory. Okay, P1000 battery was disconnected. Obviously, he sent me everything, so that's very normal. And these two are not connected, so yep, no fault codes that are related to anti-theft needed on this computer. So this is definitely not looking as anything to do with anti-theft, and most definitely a problem inside the computer. So the next test that I want to run, and for this I have again the software from Full Pro ready to go. I'm selecting, usually I can either select in here, I can go back and show you. I can either use the escape or use the Explorer 4.0 V6, either one. All I'm really using in here is the selection of the crankshaft and signals, and the way the layout is pretty much the same. In here I usually change it for 51 or 52. We can try both and we can see that that would be CKP signals. I wish that this company Full Probe can give me access to for me to select my own signals and create my own signals to use for this, because it's very limited. It is like, if I go again, let me just take a little moment to show you. There is the tool to create signals right here. Signal analyzer, not the, let me just pro, no, module generating. Did they remove it? Sensor simulator. Let me see, RPM. Everything is in Spanish, so I speak Spanish, so let me see. Yeah, so this is not letting me select what I am really want to do. Let's try to do this. Yeah, this is for like a distributor. So in here, you can create a little bit of CKPs and CMPs, again, cam and crank, right? For those that are not familiar. The problem is the amount of teeth. Very, very limited. Um, you cannot change the minimum tooth or the maximum tooth. So this is it. So total of teeth, 8. Uh, what is that good for me? I mean, 8 teeth, that's no good. So, phase, yes, I mean, you can have a phase or no phase in between the two, right? Again, amount of teeth, very limited. So I'm not sure what they did that for. Maybe just very, very old style distributors, but not not for what I need. So I'm trying to get the signals that I need so I can use it for and change it as I please, especially when I'm trying to generate signals for computers that they don't have in the database. If they will have, I mean, every single computer, I work in marine computers and I'm trying to use this for the marine computers, but I am being very limited for some of their applications. But again, this is separate, separate video. For this, I just select 4. I just know that it's the easiest for me to just select Explorer V6. I go here, change this to 51. And again, we're going to change it to 51 and 52 and see if we have any results. Now on the data, let's select things that we can see. So let's look at battery voltage. That should be battery right here. Um, let's keep going. Engine RPMs right here. I'm going to get the air temperature and the throttle position sensor. So air intake, this should be name intake. One thing that I want to show is since I don't have injector 6 or 7 connected, we will have a fault, and I want to know and make sure that the logic in the computer is reading properly. So for this, I want to put the one that I know I'm connected and the one I know I am not connected. And then let's read the air intake temperature in degrees and in voltage, and do the same thing with the throttle position. Again, I'm just trying to look for data to use and make sure the computer is indeed reading properly. All right, so 8 error, 6 no error. Let's change the temperature in the intake. And we can see that it is indeed changing. Let's change the throttle position sensor. Right now is in 2.26 volts, 109, and we can see that I went to close throttle. If you are past that, it should be partial throttle. So yeah, it is reading good. So that is all normal. Everything it is good here. Battery voltage is a little on the low side. Let me see if I can raise this voltage because I'm actually providing 3.4, but I have a lot connected. So let me just think about that because I always use this one, but it might not let me change things when I am on. Log push to select. Yeah, it's not letting me. Oh, it is. It is. So I went over to 14.4 volts. And yes, that is putting me into around 13.69. So yes, we can see that even that pit in the scanner is changing. And those are signals sent by the computer. So communication is working properly. No doubt about that. All right, so let's switch the ignition on in full probe and give some RPM. This should be already working. we are not getting any RPM. And I know that I am producing the right data. This should be running. So we have the very common problem on these ones, which is the analog to the digital uh, converter and the circuitry that goes along that is actually this gets damaged because of bad coils. So I'm going to talk to Hubert about changing ignition coils, make sure that cam and crank sensors are also replaced because that's where it leaks to. It leaks from the block to those sensors inside the analog to digital converter. I have narrowed down completely onto these computers. All right, but just to do a test, so we have, let me turn this off, and then we're going to change signal 51 to signal 52 and then see if you have any change. I mean, I'm just trying different notches, different crankshaft position sensor signals, even though I know that this is the one and it's 51 is the one that has given me the best result. We got absolutely no RPM. All right, guys, this is for Uber. This is going to be first part test. I am coming over with another computer here from Albert Muniz from Hawaii. I will be doing that as a separate video so I don't confuse Uber with somebody else's information. And I'll be right back. All right, guys, so this is again part one for Uber in Florida. Yes, I am able to reproduce your concerns, and I will be open in the computer, make sure that it's not, corroded or something that cannot be repaired, and otherwise let you know. I really doubt that is the issue. The computer looks pretty clean, connector looks pretty clean, and yeah, I have 5 volts and everything, so I don't suspect to have any issues like that. But again, part one. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. See you next time. See you on part one after repairs with this computer. Then you can see the entire setup and everything again. If you have any questions, please just leave a comment and I will try it as soon as I can respond. Talk to you later. Bye bye.